Hello, and thank you for joining us for Debate 4 in this year's University Debates on Human Rights. I'm your host, Nkumba Gabriel. The reason as to why we hold these debates is so that we can learn more about human rights as we prepare to celebrate International Human Rights Day on the 10th of December. This is celebrated every year. This show is brought to you courtesy of the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. We invited 8 universities. We have had 3 debates where 3 universities have fallen off and 3 have progressed to the semi-final. Today we find out the final university to make it to the semi-finals. Let me invite the contestants from Ndejje University. And they will battle it out with Nkumba University. Welcome to the show. Before you take your seats, the 2 universities facing off are here, and now you will choose what side of the argument you will make. Heads or tails? Heads or tails? Head. It's tail. So you have a chance to choose. Are you proposing or opposing? Opposing. Then you'll take my left-hand side. That means you take my right-hand side. The contestants are seated and they're ready to make their arguments so as to convince you at home and convince our studio audience here. But most importantly, convince the judges, because the judges are the ones that will be giving marks and determining who will make it to the next round. I'm going to introduce our judges and they will let us know what they're going to look for in today's debate. Our first judge is Deborah Oyela. Next to Judge Deborah is Judge Sandra Mwesije. Finally, the only male on the panel, Judge Eli Kasirie. Judges, welcome. What are you going to look for in today's debate?
Thank you very much, moderator. You're most welcome, debaters. Today we're going to be looking for ability to follow the guidelines, the set guidelines that you were given when you were given the questions, how original your answers are. We'll be looking for articulation, your tone, your vocabulary, eye contact, your body language and your facial expressions. We'll be looking for clear, well-articulated ideas. We're looking at the sophistication of your arguments. We'll be looking at how well you address the topics. Do you capture the current issues? Are you using laws and illustrative examples? And are you giving us some recommendations and offering insights? And we'll be looking for audience engagement as well. You need to give persuasive responses to questions and use your time well.
All right.
I wish you happy debating.
All right, thank you very much. What's left is for us to know who are debating today. So we'll go to the proposers, extreme end first.
My name is Sekaliga Jonathan, representing Nkumba University.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Next.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Julius Kato, representing Nkumba University.
All right, and opposing the motion, extreme left.
Thank you very much. I'm Honorable Kagoda Enoch, representing the mighty Ndejje University.
All right, and?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mogoen Samuel from Ndejje University.
All right. Today we discuss the freedom of expression. Wikipedia defines the freedom of expression as a right to express one's ideas and opinions freely through speech, writing, and other forms of communication without fear of interference from the government or the society. This freedom is provided for in Uganda's constitution under Article 29A. However, in enjoyment of their freedoms, citizens and the media have gone overboard through social media and other outlets. So today we discuss the freedom of expression in the Constitution assumed that citizens and the press would be responsible. Irresponsibility in enjoying freedom of expression, as recently seen, justifies tighter measures to be imposed. Let's hear from the proposers first.
I would ask us to look at Article 19 of the core international human rights treaties, I think of 2006 in Geneva. 19.3 says, I quote, "The exercise of the rights provided for in paragraph 2 of this article carries with it special duties." Article 2 talks about everyone shall have the right to freedom of expression, subject to certain restrictions, but this shall only be such as provided by what? Law as necessary. A, for respect of the rights and reputation of others. 2, or B, for the protection of national security, of public order, or of public health and morals.
I hope you're not going to read me the whole law.
Yes, I was trying to say, yes, we accept that truly they should exercise their freedom of expression, but they should have an extent.
What is the extent?
That extent is when they tackle the national security of the what? Of the country. An example is when they, for example, in the previous, I'm sorry to be political, but in a record, I think some time back, when the news actually was saying that Mr. Sejusa talked about succession in the what? In the Ugandan government. So when you hear about that, you as a citizen, you'll be concerned. That means as you'll think that's actually becoming a monarch, not a what? Not a democracy. Second of all, false information on part of the press and the citizen itself can cause chaos in the country. An example is the recent USA elections, where actually the media, social media in particular, quoted as Donald Trump was saying that when he wins the elections, he's going to make sure Mr. Museveni and Mugabe are going to leave power. You as a person, you would assume now Donald Trump has won. What next for Uganda? A recent statement from the American Embassy of Uganda in that regard, the statement says that Donald Trump actually had never talked about that. It was only a situation of rumors. On that basis, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to say that, yes, we truly acknowledge that there should be expression of their should be the right of expression, but there should be an extent. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. No, you will come into the argument later. Let's go to the first opposing debater.
Thank you very much, moderator. When we speak about freedom of speech, freedom of expression, we are speaking about very patent issues. And these issues formulate the foundation. They make the base of our democracy. We are dealing with the rule of law, and these are the values that not only us, but even the international community looks at. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to first take you to the international level. When we read, this is a book that is called Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Now, when we go into it, Article 19 says, everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes the freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information, ideas throughout any media and regardless of frontiers. Now, when we come down to the Ugandan Constitution, the 1995 as amended, under Section 29, under Article 29, Section 1, subsection A, it says, every person shall have the right of freedom of speech, expression, which shall include freedom of press and other media. Meaning that our law is balancing with the international law. When we speak about freedom of expression, what do we mean? Why should we put restrictions on people who are taking coverages? For example, we had an instance of Dr. Kizza Besigye when he's being released from jail recently after elections. A car knocked somebody and that person died, a civilian. And you know, the police was trying to fight with the media to remove those coverages. And I have evidence, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, recently in 2009, we all witnessed, the world witnessed, when the king was going to Kayunga to visit his own people.
Which king?
The king of Uganda, His Royal Highness Muwenda Mutebi. What happened? The government restricted him from going, and many people were killed from there. And what came out of that? CBS was closed, ladies and gentlemen. Is that really fair? Is that freedom of expression? We had the measures being removed. You put a restriction and then you call it freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, this is violating of the freedom of the people to express themselves.
Okay.
Just a minute, Mr. Moderator. Let me inform
Unfortunately, I can't give you more time. You
Thank
will
you
have
very
a
much.
chance to continue. You have 3 minutes. Do you have a question for the opening proposer?
Yeah, thank you very much. Fellow comrade from Nkumba University, right? I would love to ask you a question. Do you think that putting restrictions on freedom of speech is realistically giving the people the freedom of speech or the freedom of expression?
All right. How do you give it unlimited?
Me as a person, I will answer you on basing on a family. You're a father. I believe you have a father at your place. Just imagine there are no restriction, that you can come in anytime you want to come, and you can leave anytime you want to leave the home. What will that lead? People will be asking, who is the father in the room? Who is the father in the house? That means you as a person, you come, my father comes at 10, for me I'll come at 11, because there are no restrictions. Governing the what? Governing you as a what? As a child in your home. I believe I've answered that.
All right. Do you have a question
Yes, I have a
for
question.
the first
Please move
proposer?
with me on a mental trip as you may deem it worthy. Imagine a world where journalists actually have no restrictions. What do you think would be the impact of that?
The work of journalists, based on their profession, is to inform the world based on evidence, empirical evidence, which is ratified using their cameras that they take. So I don't see any challenge as long as they are bringing out the facts.
All right.
Okay, can I answer him? If you want.
You still have
In
you still have about 30
statement,
seconds.
you said ratified, meaning that there's an excess. There's a restriction about to fall. I know that I get me right. Yes,
No, my friend. That is a slip of the tongue. I said clarified. Yeah.
So clarified, not ratified.
Yes. Hope you change the language.
Clarified.
Clarified,
Okay,
not
please,
ratified.
Not ratified.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you for putting up a spirited debate. Your time is done. We'll go to the next. But please ensure that you use your microphone so that our viewers at home can hear your arguments. I'll go to the second proposing debater.
Okay, thank you very much, the moderator of this day. I believe that the Ugandans, they need to know what freedom of expression is. Ladies and gentlemen out there, please, however much there is freedom of expression, but we need to know what our kids are listening and what our kids are seeing. Today, if pornography is just left anyhow to everyone to expose anything on social media, please, what generation are we going to have tomorrow? So I think that the government should come in and try to strengthen on what is spread all over the social media. And next thing, today there is a case going around. Kenneth Akena, the guy was shot by a certain gentleman, and the media is coming out claiming that the guy was trying to show off the lady that he's a gentleman. Please, that is not sense to people who have lost life for a gentleman. They are crying for you, are jubilating. This is a serious matter about freedom of expression. Therefore, we should try to put maximum security over the information which is spread all over. Otherwise, we shall not tolerate this nonsense.
He says we shall not tolerate this nonsense. I hope he will tell us who we is in this case. All right. Since he's done with his argument, we'll go to the second opposing debater.
Thank you, the moderator. My argument, as how the motion has gone, is that without freedom of expression, for example, without freedom of expression by the media, you would not be accessing information all over the world. But now that we have come, the government of Uganda has come, the UN has intervened, trying to sensitizing the people through using media, through what? So this is a benefit to us. So why would you say that there shouldn't be expression of the media? Another thing is it is through the expression of the freedom of speech, we have seen that law is being practiced, and we have seen village meeting coming in, like trying to come up with different ideas because they have got a freedom of speech. They have a right over issues that are burning them, and that's why they always express, and the government reacts on them. We have got, we are talking about the media, that they should be limited. If they are limited, meaning other information would be left behind, and yet people need to access this information detailed than just mere information that you are covering this side and this, so that is not being naturally profession.
All right.
If it is expressing information, let it be spread.
All right, thank you very much. You have a chance now to ask. No, he'll ask the first question. The second opposing debater will ask the second proposing debater a question,
Thank you.
if you have any.
I do. The opposition, they were say, I mean the proposers.
Actually, you are the opposition.
The proposers, sorry, it's just a slide. My opponents are saying that they were exposing the Katosi fraud. But, expressing this Katosi fraud and what was trying to bring the Ugandans on board.
Okay,
What
what's
is
your
really
question?
happening? So why would you hide or restrict the media from bringing such information on board?
All right, you have your question. Respond to the question.
Okay, thank you for the question. I believe that however much you are collecting data, you need to know the data you are collecting, and you need to know who the people you are informing to. So please, collecting data, no one is violating that. No one is coming in to try to hinder you from collecting data, but we are checking which data you're collecting. Some people are profit-oriented. There are businesses out there, newspapers, they are profit-oriented. So they are trying to bring out information so that they can see chaos around Kampala, so that the government collapses in the next minute. So we need to put concern about that.
I see you have a newspaper seated on the desk. What are you trying to verify?
Really, I'm very sad, because if at all such newspaper is spread all over Kampala, whereby there is no restriction, there are just cartoons here showing somebody shooting the other.
I
when
think-
this guy
but-
was buried,
Okay.
we should
I
at least
think-
mind about
I
the
think-
rights.
All right.
I think-
Even then,
I
people
think-
have rights.
I think they're showing-
Just a second. He used the 1 minute. It's now his chance to ask you a question.
Okay, I would like to ask you a question, my colleague. Think about Uganda without controls. What would it be?
They've taken you in a second mental journey. Think about Uganda without controls. What would it be like?
First of all, we have got the constitution that regulates these media people and the citizens. So if there is a constitution in present, meaning people are in position to perfect their work,
Meaning you're supporting.
no, I'm not supporting you.
Okay. That's your response? Do you want to add on?
Yeah, I want to add on something. You see, when they put cartoons, that is what we are calling restrictions. The government is trying to put a barrier on the freedom of expression. So the media house cannot bring out the real information the way it is meant to be. Now, why is the government trying to restrict this? It means there is a bitter truth behind it. And you know the truth is bitter and sour. So the government cannot hold it, and that's why it does that. Just to conclude
Should
this.
I answer you?
Well,
Just to conclude this.
unfortunately, all the time has been used. I have questions of my own. It has been said that with every right comes responsibilities. If in expressing freedom to expression, people have not taken into consideration responsibility, they are being irresponsible. Should the government continue, allow them to just continue? Let's take the example that you cited. Somebody was shot. The press has given their opinion on the issue. Will this person have a fair trial if the press has already told people, we think this person did this and they did it with malice?
Just to inform you, Mr. Moderator, the citizens are the defenders of human rights. And where do they derive this? The Constitution says it is the responsibility of the people to take on these rights. So when the people come up and speak what they are feeling, what is happening in their community, and then you come and say, please, I want you to rub this and then show this, you're not being a realist. What you're doing, you're making the law to become a paper tiger.
Okay.
And with this, we are heading to hell.
All right. One of the incidences we saw recently was a procession by Dr. Kiza Besigye. Somebody was knocked and kicked by people who were thought to be policemen. The police had not picked it up. No one had picked it up. And the press released that kind of footage. And the government came, apologized, and investigations were done. If there was no freedom, the press wouldn't be allowed to show this kind of thing. Are you sure you want these restrictions? Where will they end if they begin?
Okay, let me go for that. Moderator, thank you for that question. Really, if the reason why we are here to try to address the issue of controlling the press of what the information they are giving out, it is not to ensure that the public does not get violated over just exaggerated pictures around. Who knows that even this guy was in wrong when he was crossing, when the driver was just starting the car? Who knows? So we don't know the situation that was there, because these footages, they can even go, these people who do IT, they can try to manipulate
Let's bring it closer to you. Restriction on what you share on your phone, using social media. How far should the government go? Should you first send your WhatsApp for approval by a certain government agency before you can send it to a certain group?
Like United States of America, they try to view each and every communication that goes around. So it is not that you first send this information to a certain committee so that they can review and then they resend. It is just a monitoring of the flow of information.
All right, your colleague has something to add.
An example, I think most of us use the internet. There's a word they say, are you above 18 to access this? I don't know whether I've ever heard that.
Please use the microphone.
Yes, and another one is, when you look at, as earlier said, when you look at Article 19, 3, Part B says, we do restriction for the protection of the national security or public order.
All right.
Just imagine that person who was knocked down. Actually, as you had seen, they published in the newspapers and all that. People became what? People became chaotic. That means that disconnecting the what? The public what? Public order.
All right.
Yes.
All right, we'll take a question from the audience.
Thank you very much. My question goes to the opposing side. It has been clearly seen that even with the presence of freedom of expression availed to very many citizens, more so here in Uganda, a lot of violations of that right have been noticed. Now, if that is the case, and of which I think you'll agree to that, why shouldn't there be restrictions for that matter?
All right, thank you very much. If you could answer that very quickly so that we can take a second question.
I want us to just know that statement in the law, freedom of what? Expression. It is based from facts. Now, when you speak something, when you are a politician, when you are, when Besigye is speaking, the cameras take the whole thing. There is nothing like exaggeration. I don't think the media supports anything like violation of human rights. The role of the media, we have even seen in international events, when it even goes to take events of terrorists, their work is just to take the footages.
Okay. Unfortunately, we're out of time, so we have to go to the judges to let us know who of the two sides was more persuasive. Over to you, our judges.
Thank you, moderator, and thank you to the debaters tonight. We thank you so much for the spirited fight. And the judges, at the end of the day, we had to decide. Though we have our reservations, and we hope that the general comment will be given, and the teams will be improving as we progress. We noted that the best team had a fair grip of the law. Some examples they had were current. I say some because we feel that there are many examples that were left out. They were a bit eloquent. And the losing team, we feel that their examples are really old. They lacked current examples. And they actually left us wanting, because when we could hear from the audience, we know that there are many current issues that we are left out. And we also feel the question was not well articulated and well expressed here. But at the end of the day, we had to come up with a judgment to have one which progresses to the next team. And we've decided anonymously that Nkumba University progresses to the next level.
All right. Is there anything to add on the judgment?
On freedom of expression, I would want to say that it's not just about what you say, it's your conscience. What is it you're thinking? It also embeds the learning process that we are doing here. And when you think about something, you should be able to share it. So if it is being restricted, you actually are being stopped from thinking, from expressing yourself, from sharing what it is you're thinking about. And we need an environment really where people can actually share and learn. But yes, as you've mentioned, it can be restricted for issues of national security. You've heard of that. Issues of morality. The places you go and the things you cannot practically say because of the cultures, the way people observe things. However, we also realize that the right to freedom of expression is a principle, is a democratic principle of good governance and rule of law. But if you come down to our latest circumstances, you've seen the state coming up with very harsh laws meant for, okay, they're good laws, but after it is twisted and used for something else. Let's talk about the Public Order Management Act. You want to call a meeting. It's to express yourself, isn't it? It's to have a meeting. But you've seen so many of them that have been disbanded. Many of those meetings have been disbanded. We've seen many of our journalists. What has happened to them? They arrest you. If you've printed a honest story, you have checked the facts. So we need to come out and bring them out. These are things that are actually happening in our community. And when we realize them, that is when we can ask for change and speak about them. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, our judges. Our dear audience at home, thank you very much for watching this show. We have our 4 universities that will compete in the semi-final. Just to say it again, Chambogo University, Gulu University, Uganda Christian University, and finally Nkumba University. Would like to congratulate both teams and would like to congratulate more especially the team that has made it through to the next round. Human rights are rights that we as human beings should enjoy, but we should strive to protect everybody's human rights. God bless you as you protect everyone's human rights.